Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Long, and with this video we are beginning the final session of Unit 7 on debate. I hope you had an excellent weekend. It was wonderfully warm and we had our very first Jeffco virtual school dance, and I enjoyed watching some of you get out and just enjoy yourselves for the evening. A great tradition I hope that we get to continue, as my 3-year-old daughter went and enjoyed it and wants to go dance with my students again. So good weekend. I hope the rest of you did something fun. The weather was nice. I don't think that's going to hold all week. So hope you enjoyed it while you had it. I want to just go ahead and walk you through the session. And I will warn you that if you take a look at the points page, you're going to be very overwhelmed. But really what you're doing is just wrapping up everything you've been doing for the last 3 sessions. And if you've done all that, this shouldn't be that onerous, that burdensome. So let's just take a quick look at it. The assignments that you're going to be doing, you're going to be submitting 2 written debate arguments, your affirmative and your negative. And basically you're polishing what you worked on last week. So your 2 drafts, your affirmative and your negative drafts, you polish those and you'll be submitting them. The weekly journal topic pertains to public speaking skills. And I point out with one of the quotes from Mark Twain that most of us feel a little bit nervous at some point about public speaking. So that'll be a journal entry. And then you're just going to take what you have written and record that in some kind of simple way, or you could make a fancy video out of it. And then you'll share that with your peers and reflect on what you've learned in the unit. And if you're on the track for making up work for Unit 5, as in you didn't finish Unit 5 and you've decided to use your debate topic to write your inquiry report, then this last assignment is for you. So it actually comes out being potentially a lot of points this week. But again, this is stuff that you have been doing. You've already got a draft of these guys going, and on this you're going to be just recording what you've done. So don't freak out when you see the points, but it is your opportunity, if your grade is low, to really make a difference in your grade and watch that rise. So I do want to point that out too. Here's a suggested schedule for walking you through the week and getting that accomplished. And I will point out too that if there are some of you who, instead of doing a recording, want to do a live session, there are instructions on that. Basically, you make an appointment with me, with the person you're working with, and we'll do it live in Blackboard Collaborate or Google Hangout, and then you don't need to mess with the recordings. So that's kind of where we're going. So your first task is to revise your paper. And there are papers. There are several things I'd like you to look at as you do this. One is whether you chose the best evidence. If you remember when we looked at the mentor text in Unit 1, or Session 1, you had to evaluate the evidence and say whether it was pathos, logos, or ethos. That was assignment 711. And an example from that assignment will bring this home. There's a statement about cyberbullying. It's negative against cyberbullying. We don't need to criminalize cyberbullying. And it is, however, if cyberbullying were to be criminalized, any offenders would be convicted as felons. This, according to U.S. Representative Robert Scott of Virginia, would unfairly follow today's young people on their permanent records forever. Well, this is a blatant attempt at pathos. And they're trying to make you feel sorry for these would-be felons. The question is this the best evidence for making your argument? And it might be that logos, simply talking about errors in the legal system, people aren't really caught anyway, would be more persuasive. So as you revise, think about whether you've really used the best evidence for making your case. Remember, your goal here is to persuade. Also, as you revise, think about what signal words, conjunctive adverbs, signal words you have used to help guide your reader through the process, because you don't want your reader struggling to figure out what you're trying to say. It's a little bit like following that car in a dark neighborhood. You don't have any turn indicators, you're not sure where you're going. You really want to have those turn indicators there. As you revise, I'd like you to look at parallel structure. Remember, we looked at this in Unit 6 when you read your Great American Speeches, and there's a little bit of a crash course review right here. I've also, by the way, introduced several examples of parallel structure throughout the unit. So this is something that you can be attending to in your paper. So see if you've got some parallel structure to make your language smoother. You'll check out the paper format, and that's things like making sure that you've marked your contentions and stated your resolution. As you revise, check for that. And as you revise, check for internal citation. That's your in-text citation. You did your works cited a couple of sessions ago. Take that information and make the parentheses that go in your paper for each individual point. Quick reminder, it's not just quotes that need to be cited. Anything that you didn't know prior to starting this unit needs to be cited in that paper. So use internal citation for that. And then there's a checklist here to help you think, did you actually really get through it? And please do use the rubric. That is how I'm grading it. When you turn it in, to turn it in. And if you haven't used it before, you'll need to set up an account with this class ID and password. But it's pretty straightforward when you go to www.turnitin.com. So that will be a huge thing off your plate. You get that finalized, you get your papers turned in. Then I want you to turn your attention to public speaking. This is the kind of stuff that many of us fear. Glossophobia is a fun word that means fear of public speaking. But it's a chance for you to really polish your skills. These are skills that can be practiced, learned, and mastered, which, by the way, is also parallel structure. So you're going to watch a PowerPoint and journal on this topic, where you're at. What do you need to work on? Pacing, eye contact, enunciation, body language. What is it that you want to work on as you record? And then you'll go and you'll record your two sides. You'll record yourself reading your affirmative speech, record yourself reading your negative speech. And that will be graded according to the district rubric here for speaking. And you can do that in very simple ways, or you can do it in complex ways. It's really not meant to be huge. There's one simple tool called Vocaroo.com, and this is mentioned on the next page. Vocaroo.com just allows you to click, save, record, post your link. It's pretty straightforward. But you can get kind of fancy, and you can do some video editing if you wish. All of them are okay. What I'm looking at is being able to evaluate your speech skills through a recording. And again, if you are not doing a recording, you're going to do something live, then please make sure that you get in touch with me about a time that you can do that with me in Google Docs or in Google Hangout. And I've lost the link on that, but it's in here. So, yeah, if you're working with a partner, then you'll want to make an appointment on my calendar, and we'll just follow the pretty straightforward Lincoln Douglas debate format. So that's where that's headed. And then the last thing in this unit, the thinker is going to ask you to think about what you've learned. I was reading some research recently that says that basically reflecting on what you learned at the end of a unit can make a profound difference in what you actually remember. So that's kind of the purpose of this. It also gives me feedback because I hope to be doing this unit again with some students, and your advice is always what I value the most. So there's an assignment for you there. If you are doing inquiry makeup, go ahead and write that paper now while your topic's in your head. If you know it well from debate, it should be very easy to go back and use that same topic to write your inquiry report. And I've given a scaffold down here to help you kind of walk through a process of organizing it. You can also use your list of issues that you created as your journal assignment. That was last week's journal assignment. You listed issues and some quotations and perspectives that went with that. So it's a busy week, but I think that you'll find that once you get started, it goes fairly smoothly, fairly quickly, and I am always available for help. So please don't ever hesitate to ask. It's a pleasure and an honor to be able to do that. So have a great week. Be in touch with any questions, and I will look forward to hearing from you and reading some great debates. Thank you.